Right. Okay. So what is it that we are going to be learning in business management? Okay. What is it that we are going to be talking about in business management? So this course actually serves as an introductory course to business management. Okay. Being a short course, we just want to introduce you to the whole program of business management. You know, just as you may all be aware, that business management is a very broad program of study. Of course, you can do a certificate like this one. You can do a diploma in business management. You can even do a degree, a bachelor's degree. You can do a master's degree in business management, MBA. You can have a doctorate of philosophy, PhD, within the same field of study. What I'm trying to show you is that it's something that is so broad and so big. But this being a short course, I will just try to introduce you to the general program. So this course will just serve as some principles, just to give you some, some principles of it, some introductions to the whole scope of the program. Okay. So this being the first unit, I want us to start by looking at the organization itself. Since you are looking at business management, a business is an organization. So we need to look at what an organization is. And after looking at what an organization is, we need to look at the input-output model, which is a key model that we use in the transformation of the raw materials, the inputs into the outputs. Then afterwards, we will look at the different stakeholders that participate in organizations. So look at the different stakeholders that do participate in those different organizations. When we're done looking at that, I think that will be the end of this unit. But for the whole course, we will continue and look at management probably in the second unit, what management is all about, the roles of a manager, the skills of a manager, the functions of management, and that is in the second unit. Then we will lift up the conversation a little bit and introduce you to marketing, that is in the third unit. So we'll show you one of the important, section or unit of this course, which is marketing. We introduce you to marketing. So look at marketing in a nutshell, and afterwards we'll have time to that is in the fourth unit, of course, to give you the principles of the finance department of it. Okay, so we'll look at it. We'll look at finance, and give you the principles that underpin and guide the financing department. Then afterwards, we'll have human resource management. We introduce you to the concepts of human resource management. That is in the fifth unit, okay? In the fifth unit, we'll look at human resource management. And then the last thing that I'll talk about in the sixth unit is the management of change. I'll show you how to manage change. And after I've talked about all these things, I'll a little bit comment about leadership in management, and then basically that will be the end of this course. Right. So those are some of the things that we'll be talking about. Yeah, I've just mentioned them, yeah, in general. So we can zero in today and look at the first unit, which just seeks to introduce you to the organizations, like to understand how an organization works and what it is. Do I have any question before I start presenting the unit? I've introduced the whole course. Any question? Do I have any question from anyone? Okay. But are you able to hear me clearly? Anyone,
yes.
Anyone to confirm? Okay. Thank you so much for the confirmation. Now,
yes, we are able to get you clearly.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for the confirmation. Now, look at this. when we ask people of what an organization is, a business organization, it could be any organization. It could be a church organization, could be a religious grouping, it could be a political organization, whatsoever, as long as it's an organization. You ask people to give the general definition of what an organization is. People will try to define an organization in different ways. Of course, we are trying to say that there is no specific way of defining what an organization is. However, there are some key principles or some key features that should be there in your definition of what an organization is. I'm trying to say that you can try to define organization in using your own words in whichever way that you want to define it, but ensure that in your definition the following features are there. Number one, organizations are composed of individuals and the groups of individuals. At least in your definition, there should be that aspect, that feature. The organizations, they are oriented towards achievement of a collective goal, okay? The organizations are usually oriented towards achieving the collective goal. And the organizations, of course, they consist of different functions. Organizations have got different functions. This is what we have to understand. And the functions of this organization or these organizations need to be coordinated, right? So in your definition, at least these features have to be there. So I may want to define and wish to define an organization as follow: is a group of individuals working together to achieve one or more objectives. Yeah, a group of individuals working together to achieve one or more objectives. Okay, so that's just a simple definition that we have given to an organization, but we have guided, of course, that you can try to define an organization in whichever way, but at least these key things have to be there. These key features, they have to be there. They should be able to be extracted from your definition. Any question? Do I have a question from anyone on what an organization is?
No, not really.
Okay. Now we have defined what an organization is. Now let's look at an input and output model. Now, you know, organization, I'll contextualize everything to the business. As a business organization, you said you are there for the whole purpose, mainly to convert some inputs into the desired output. Okay, you are there to convert some inputs. Those inputs, it could be energy, it could be anything. Okay, all those factors of production. Maybe let me speak like this: you are there to convert the factors of production into the desired output. So basically, you are using the factors of production. You are trying to combine those factors of production in whichever way so that you can produce the desired output. The desired output is a product. It can be a service or it can be a tangible good, right? So now the combination of the factors of production in whichever way so that we can have the desired output is what we need to study. So there is a model that was discovered some time back, many years ago, which is called an input-output model. Basically, this model is there to show us the process, you know, that is actually involved in the conversion of these factors of production into the desired output. Right. So let me maybe ask the class and seek understanding from the class. What does the class know about the factors of production? Can the class help in mentioning the factors of production that they know? Number one. What does the class know about the factors of production? Those factors of production, you can mention one.
We have labor,
Of course, thank you so much. We have got labor. What else?
capital, which is financial.
We have got capital. What else do we have as a factor of production? Others can come in as well. Do we have someone else to say something on factors of production?
Enterprise.
Enterprise, thank you. So we have got entrepreneurship, we have got enterprise here. What else?
Land.
Oh, thank you. So we have got land. So these are the four main factors of production. Do we still have some more? Maybe the class knows some more factors of production. Okay, so let's say these are the main factors of production, okay? Of course, when you give labor, and we want to show you how it is done. So when you give labor, you provide labor, you receive income in this way. You receive income in form of what? In form of wages and salaries, right? Wages and salaries is from the provision of labor. What about capital? When you provide capital, what do you receive? Of course, you receive income. In what form?
Okay, when you provide capital, it's either you receive loss or profit.
Okay. Oh, interesting. It's either you receive loss or profit. I like that one. So, okay, let's assume you are receiving income. In what way, in what form does income flow to you as an individual when you invest in capital? Maybe ask the question like that.
It comes out as profit for the business.
It comes out as a profit. Oh, interesting. Thank you so much for the attempt. Do we have any other, someone else who thinks something a little bit different from that?
Sometimes it cannot give you loss, neither the profit. It happens in some cases. I've just forgotten the term that is used whereby you are running the business. You haven't made profit, no loss. So it happens in some instances.
All right. Okay. Anyways, thank you so much for all the attempts. So the capital, when you invest in capital, you get the interest, right? You get the interest from capital, from the investment of capital, you get the interest. Then from enterprise, you get profit. You get profit. Of course, income flows to you in form of profit or losses. That is from entrepreneurship or from the enterprise. And from land, in what form does income flow? Hello? From land.
I think it provides a space for the business to commence.
Okay, thank you so much for the attempt. Anyways, so when you invest in land, land provides rent. So income comes in form of rent from land and from premises. So these are the incomes you've seen. On the other end, we have got the forms of income, and on the other end, we have got the factors of production. Now, listen, the model that guides the conversion process of these, inputs or these factors of production, the inputs into the desired output, is what is called the input-output model. So what happens is that you will try to combine these factors of production in whatever form of technology that you can, then you have the desired output. Let me ask the class, what the class understands by technology. What is technology? What comes in your mind when you hear technology? What is technology?
Let me try.
Go ahead.
Technology is something or an idea which has been brought to make a certain work easier.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. So an idea that has been put to make the work easier is called technology. Wow. Okay. So any other? Do we have someone else? Thank you so much for the attempt. What is
I think,
technology?
according to the way I do understand technology, maybe it comes from the word techniques here. Techniques simply means the ways you use, the way you do things. So technology simply means maybe the science of the way we do things and the way we are improving each and every day in order to have the output of to have the income according to the input that we have learned.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for that attempt too. Do we have any other? What is technology?
I think technology is the advancement of anything.
The advancement of anything. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for all the attempts anyways. So in simpler terms, the technology are the methods. Okay. The methods, as just as said, the methods, the techniques, the ways that you can use, okay, to convert the inputs into outputs. That's technology. So technology, it does not necessarily mean a phone or computer. No, it's just any way, those combinations. So the technology can just be either advanced or least advanced, right? It can be highly advanced or not advanced. But otherwise, whatever way that you use, to produce the desired output, that's your technology. So using the various technologies, you're going to combine these inputs to produce the desired output. You combine labor, you will combine maybe capital, you will combine your entrepreneurial skills, you will combine land, or all these, you combine them. You combine these, okay, in whatever way, those are techniques, right? Then you can have the desired output that you want to produce at the end of the day. So this is the whole idea behind the input output model. Do I have any question from anyone? Does anyone of us has a question? Okay.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can't we separate this input and output? I want to understand what an output is and what is an input.
Okay. Like
I
an
need more
input,
information.
input is input. Thank you so much. Someone is asking the question. The question is, what is the difference? What could be the difference between output and input? There is a question someone is asking. What could be the difference?
All right, let me try to answer it in this way so that I make my colleague to understand it. When you talk of input, it simply means the factors that you put there in an organization. Then output simply means the result, what you are going to get after you have put those factors into your organization.
Right. Does that help?
Very much, sir. Very much.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
we proceed now. Shall we just proceed? So basically, this is what I was talking about the input-output model. Now, an organization is there to make objectives. Now, listen carefully. As an organization, you cannot be there without an objective, okay? For you to exist as an organization, you need an objective. So those objectives, the objectives that you have can range from the general objectives to the specific objectives, right? You can have the general objectives, then you can still have specific objectives as an organization. And oftentimes it has been cited and said that those objectives that you form are supposed to be what? To be smart. Okay. Your objectives that you set as a business manager are supposed to be what? To be smart. Now, what does it mean to be smart? To be smart simply means that the objectives are supposed to be specific, right? Your objectives are supposed to be measurable, right? They should be measurable. Your objectives are supposed to be attainable or achievable, if you may like achievable. Your objectives are supposed to be relevant or realistic, and your objectives are supposed to be time-based or timely bounded, timely based, right? So that is what we mean when we say that your objectives are supposed to be smart. Yeah. So as a business manager that has been properly trained, we don't expect you to set the objectives that are not specific, the objectives that cannot be measured, the objectives that cannot actually be achieved, the objectives that are not relevant and they are unreal, the objectives without a deadline. No, then you have not been properly trained, right? So basically, this is what we have now. What do we mean when we say that objectives are supposed to be specific? So the goals should be specific simply means that they should be simplistically written and clearly defined, right? That is to say, what you are going to do, okay? Your objective should be specific in what you are going to do, why you are going to do, how you are going to do it, when you are going to do it. You didn't hear that. So it should be specific in terms of what you're going to do, why you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, and when you're going to do that. Is that clear? We need such objectives. Yeah, we don't need the objectives or the goals that you set as a business manager. First of all, you don't even know what, like you can't clearly state what is going to be done. And again, or secondly, you don't know the reason why you're going to, you're going to carry out that goal, or you're going to have that goal. You don't know how. There is no strategy. There is no the mechanism set in place on how you're going to achieve that goal. And again, there is no time. Imagine, there is no time. You don't even know when exactly you're going to achieve that goal. Then you have not been properly trained. Is that clear? Does that help the class?
All right. Here there is a question, our instructor, pertaining to specific.
Go ahead.
Yeah. There are some instances whereby someone can start the business and the person doesn't know how, when he is going to achieve the goals. Actually, in some organizations, in some businesses, you would find that someone doesn't have even the objectives. So how dangerous it is when someone doesn't have the objectives?
I like the question. It's a very good and brilliant question, a genius question. Like, okay, it goes to the class anyways. What does the class think? How dangerous is it to be existing as an organization and do not have objectives, really? Okay. How dangerous is it? Is it possible to exist without objectives? Go ahead.
I think it's not possible to exist without objectives. I mean, you won't even like proceed because the reason
Yes.
why existing, like he defines, is that you have a goal. That's why existing, because of that particular goal.
Right. Thank you so much for that. So without the objectives, sir, you don't know where you are going. You have no direction. You are not, you know, because the objectives, when they are specific, they are telling you, they are guiding you on what you're going to do. And actually, the issue of writing your objectives in business management, we teach that you write this. Of course, there will be a unit. I will show you. There is one of the units that would discuss on business formation. Like, first of all, you're encouraged to write down these things before you even start those things. Have a plan, like, you know, when you write down and spend time to write down clear objectives, it will be easy when you start carrying out these things, because you would have already plotted, you know, your journey. You just walk through the journey. Is that right? And does that help the questionnaire? So you need the objectives. You can't actually go anywhere without objectives whatsoever, you know?
All right.
Because those are things, you can't go anywhere far. Because if you don't have objectives, you see your friends today are doing this, you change, you join. Again, you find that this is hard because you don't even have the reasons why you are doing that. Tomorrow you bank that project. You've seen people who they start this, they bank this, they leave it, they start that again, you know that, eh? So those are the problems that come with all that. Hope that helps the class and we can proceed to measurability. So the goals should be measured so that you have a tangible evidence that you have accomplished what you are working towards. So you have to establish the criteria, all right? Of course, the concrete criteria for measuring the progress towards the attainment of each goal that you set. A well-trained business manager will understand that you cannot set a goal that you cannot actually tell how far you are from the goal or how closer you are to the goal, right? So you need to form and create the indicators. They are what we call the indicators when you form those goals. Ask yourself, what is it that is going to tell you that you are closer to your goal or you are still far? What is it that will tell you how much you have to put in? You get, so that you can get that goal. You need the goals that can actually be measured, and that can only be done by you introducing the indicators. There should be things that will tell you on how you are going to do it to achieve that particular goal. Okay, what is it that will help you that you're going to achieve that particular goal? There is this person who is having a goal of saving. Let's say somebody is planning to save $50,000, right? And they are saying in 3 months' time, I should have saved that. How do you measure if you're progressing towards that? Obviously, you would break down your goal into saying that, okay, I think in 3 months' time, every 2 weeks, I should have gotten this much. By that time, I should have gotten this much. By that time, I should have reached there. So basically, what we're trying to say is that there should just be a criterion, of course, a concrete one, the evidence that should tell us how far we are from the goal. Does that help the class?
Yes, it does.
Okay. The goals have to be achievable, right? That is to say, they should actually stretch you slightly, of course, so that you feel challenged, but they should be defined well enough so that you can achieve them. And you must possess the appropriate knowledge, skills, and abilities that are needed to achieve that particular goal. You should know what is needed. When you set a goal, ask yourself, what skills do you need? There are those people that chase goals, objective, but they don't even know the skills that they need. They don't even know the knowledge that they need. You know, you should do Ask yourself, what is it that I don't know? Okay, that's how you form goals. Ask yourself, what is it that I don't know that I think I should know for me to achieve that goal? What skills don't I have? What abilities don't I have? Okay, ask yourself, do self-inventory, and afterwards you will be able to do the right thing. The goals should be, realistic. Yeah, they need to be relevant, of course, to the people responsible for achieving them. They should be relevant again to the strategic plan, and the goals should be timely bounded. And you and I know that if you do not set, for example, a deadline, all the things, all the goals where you just set them without a deadline, they take years, and they really take a very long period of time to be achieved. So if you just say, I want to have this, and you don't set when you wish you can have that, my friend, it takes you a lot of time. But the moment you just set a deadline, the human mind has been made in such a way that it works well with deadlines. Set a deadline, and then you work towards that deadline. Then you will be well. So in a nutshell, we are saying that we are trying to say that you have to set the objectives and goals that are smart. Now, there are many reasons as to why the businesses exist, right? Why do you think businesses exist? We have got two views about the existence of the business. Follow nicely. I've started presenting. I will give you time to ask questions. Don't worry. There are two views that we have here that try to explain the reason as to why we exist as a business. The first one is what is called the shareholders' view. The shareholders' view says that the business exists for the shareholders, for the owners, okay, for those who own the company through stock ownership, the shareholders, okay, those who have invested in that in the company, they have put resources in the company, and that is the reason as to why they exist. First of all, maybe I ask the class the question: what do you think could be the difference between shareholders and stakeholders? What could be the difference between shareholders and stakeholders? What do you think? Shareholders, stakeholder.
For me, I know shareholders. I think it's those people who are interested in your business.
Those are shareholders.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for the attempt. What could be the difference between stakeholders and shareholders?
All right, let me give a try. When you look at the shareholders, those people who have shares in the company. Let's say, for instance, we have a public limited company. Then I go there to Lusaka stock to buy the shares. Let me say, for instance, I want to buy shares from ShopRite. So when I do that, I'm the shareholder. Then when you look at the stakeholders, stakeholders are those people who are found in the business, those who are contribute to the business. So it starts from the CEO, customers, staff members, those are stakeholders.
Okay, stakeholders. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so basically, yeah, if someone want to go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to give it a try as well. Like the way my father has put it. Like the way we are here in Amazing Excellence Institute.
Yes, sir.
There are some of us who are agents.
Yes.
Those agents are what we call shareholders. Then stakeholders are those staff members who are found who are also part of the Amazing Institute. Those are what we call stakeholders. I think that's what I wanted to try.
Okay, thank you so much for the contribution. Anyways, so a shareholder is someone who owns part of that company through investment. That's a shareholder. A person who owns part of that company through investment of capital. They contributed to the capital structure of that business, meaning they invested some money. They bought shares, part of that company, or they added to the capital. Each company, each business has got capital. So in the capital, in the composition of that capital, there is part of their money. They invested something. Those are shareholders. Then the stakeholders are basically people who are interested, the people who are affected by the performance of a company, okay, for reasons other than just the stock appreciation, okay. Those people that are affected by the operation of the business, it could be positively or adversely. Those people, as long as they are affected by the operation of that business and they are interested in knowing what is going on, they are called the stakeholders. Those are stakeholders. So stakeholders is anyone. So you can see that stakeholders, shareholders are always stakeholders, right? Shareholders, they are always interested in the operation. So shareholders are both shareholders and stakeholders, but some stakeholders are not shareholders. I think that should be clear, that some stakeholders are not shareholders. So now the views as to why the business exists, there is the first one which says the business exists for shareholders, meaning it is there to make profit for the owners, okay? For the owners. That is the first view as to why the business exists, for shareholders. Then the second view is for the stakeholders view. This one that says that the business should also take into account of the other people, other stakeholders, right? As the business is existing, it should not just do everything to its own benefit or for its own benefit or to its own selfish interest, but it has to do things and putting into consideration other stakeholders. That is another view, of course, of management, why the businesses exist. Now, I want to run the class through the different types of stakeholders that we usually have in business. Number one, we have got employees. The employees are part of the stakeholders, all right? These people are concerned. And now look at their concerns. Employees, usually they are concerned with improving their standard of living. They just want to achieve higher wages and better working condition. They want longer holidays. They want to work shorter working hours. That's what they want. Employees, they are concerned with health and safety, and they want to work in an environment that protects them from harm and danger. Those are the employees. That's what they want. Okay, those are their expectations. I'm trying to show you the needs and expectations of different stakeholders. What about managers? With these are very important people, of course, in the management of the business, right? They are there to formulate a strategy that realizes the mission, the vision, and they ultimately, they ultimately make form the strategy, and they implement the strategies. These people, their objective is to maximize profit for the shareholders, the owners of the company. Yeah, they ensure production is done efficiently and cost effectively. The managers, have considerable power in any organization. They may aim to maximize their own salaries at the same time as well. And they can try to make sure that everything benefits them as well. So these are some of the expectations and the needs of the two stakeholders that I've just cited. The shareholders as well, they are stakeholders. You've seen that the shareholders are also stakeholders. They are interested in the business generating profit. Okay. So they just want the business make profit because, we invested money, we want profit from the business. So they want to see the business increase the sales. We want to see the business increasing the sales. At the same time, we want to ensure that we keep the cost of production low, okay, under control. And as shareholders are interested in the growth of the business, okay, yeah, the shareholders are interested in the growth of the business. Those are some of their expectations. Those are some of their needs as well. They're interested in the growth of the business. They're interested in making sure that the business is making profit, the sales are increasing. Those are shareholders. What about suppliers? Now, see, the suppliers, they are very important because they usually provide us with the raw materials that are needed for production. It is a very important thing that we form a very good relationship, of course, with our suppliers. Because if we don't, if we infringe and affect the relationship that we have, of course, negative, in the long run, the suppliers, they may stop supplying us, or maybe they may start wanting to supply us, you know, on cash. No need of credits, no need of negotiations. They even may want to supply us at high costs. That is what happens if we don't, you know, treat them well as our suppliers. So that is what usually happens. So that's what they want. So suppliers, they want to make profit, of course, from the sale of that. You find that the suppliers, it is their objective in their mind. They want that when they sell to us, they make a lot of money. You've seen how different it is. They want us to give them more money by buying from them the raw material. That's what they want. So they want us to pay the debt if we get things on credit quickly. That's what they want. And you will see the conflict of these interests very soon and these expectations. We also have the government. You know that the government, the big brother, you know, is interested in the operations of the business. The government is interested. They want to see that we are making profit so that they can come and get tax. You've seen the government wants to come and get tax. The government wants to see that we are following the labor laws. The government wants to see that we are paying the workers according to the labor laws. They want to see that people are working as to what the Constitution requires, of course. So basically, these are some of the expectations from the government. The government is also a stakeholder. The customers are also stakeholders, even of Amazing Excellence, of course. So the customers are very, very important now. You know, customers, they want value for their money, okay? Any product or a service that is provided to the customers, I think it must satisfy the needs of the customer at a reasonable price. You see what happens? A customer will also expect a good service, both during the purchase stage and after the sale stage. A customer wants value for their money, and these are some of the expectations for the customers. You find that usually customers, customers they don't want to pay a lot of money. Mainly, customers don't want to pay a lot of money. Mainly, customers would be happy always if they pay less than what they expected. And of course, they are so particular about the quality. Even if they have paid less, they want the quality to be very high. So if there can be those services or those goods that are provided of high quality at lower or reasonable price, then customers are okay. So mainly that's what happens with customers want value for their money, of course, and that has to be put into mind. And the local community is also a stakeholder. It is also interested in the operations of our business, is interested in knowing what is going on. Are we violating the environmental laws? Are we following the laws that pertain to the environment? And that is what usually happens. In the last few minutes before I open for questions, what you are going to realize is that now these same interest and expectation, they conflict. Okay, there is some conflict that we see, and I'll show you a little bit of the conflict. And I'll show you the conflict that exists between these stakeholders. Let me show you an example of the conflict. And this is between the management and suppliers. Okay, the management and suppliers. You and I know that the management, when it comes to the management, they want to go to the suppliers and get the raw materials at the lowest possible price. Since they are there to maximize the profit, so they want to go and get the raw materials from suppliers at the lowest possible price. So they are pushing the price down. That's what they want. They want the price down. If anything, they want to get the raw materials on credit. And when they get the raw materials on credit, they even want to delay paying. Okay? They usually want to delay paying. They want to pay later after some time. That is the management. Okay? Usually you find that this management wants to do that. Okay? They want to pay late. They even want to get things on credit. They don't want to pay cash. Okay? They don't want to pay on cash. They want the prices of raw materials to be down. That is what happens. But on the other hand, look at the suppliers. Now, I want to show you the conflict. The suppliers, on the other hand, they want to supply to the management at higher price so that they can get profit. They want to supply at higher price. If anything, they don't want to supply on credit. It's just difficult, but they wouldn't want to supply always on credit. If at all they supply on credit, they would want to be paid. They would want to be paid as early as possible. They would want to be paid as early as possible. Meanwhile, the management wants to delay paying. You are seeing the conflict. These want to delay paying. But these, on the other hand, they want to be paid soon, even if possible, right now. That's the first conflict that happens. The second conflict that I can show you is that one that exists between the shareholders and the employees, right? So you've seen that the employees, they want better conditions. The employees, they want to work, they want to work few hours. If anything, employees would want to have a week whereby they just report twice for work, and the other 5 days is a holiday. Employees are just like that. Mainly, they don't want to work a lot. They just want to work few hours, but they want to get paid a lot of money for just spending few hours. They want those very long holidays. Those are employees. Employees, they want very good working conditions. Employees want higher salaries. See now the conflict. The shareholders, on the other hand, they want to make sure that the wages, the salaries are kept under control. Okay? If possible, we try to reduce them as much as we can. Of course, as much as optimal. Let me use that word. Yeah, as much as optimal. We try to put them under control. And as the shareholders, they also want to make sure that the employees are working. They have to work so that we can make profit. So if anything, the shareholders, they would want to have a week whereby the employees are working 24/7, if it were possible. They would want you to be working 24/7 so that you can be producing. But on the other hand, you see that you don't want, you see the conflict. So basically, that is an example of the conflict that does exist. Yeah, in the last 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes, let me show you now the idea or the differences between the mission, the vision, and the strategy. So a mission of the business or a mission statement is communicating the reason for being. Okay, it communicates to us how the business aims to serve the stakeholders. A mission statement, aims at providing, the stakeholders with the clarity about the overall purpose and the organization reason for existence. Yeah. On the other hand, we have a vision statement. I've talked about a mission statement. A vision statement is future-oriented, this one. Okay, it is future-oriented declaration of the organization's purpose and aspirations. Okay, you are showing us where you are going. Yeah, so for example, if you want, you can say that the mission statement lays out the organization purpose of being, whereas the vision, you know, statement then is based on that purpose. That is what we want to become. That's a vision is about the future. What do we want to become at the end of it? In 5 years' time, where are we going? What's the vision? And if you're going to work for a company, you're going to be employed by an organization, it's very important that you ask these things, the objectives. Ask of the ask of the vision. You know, ask of their mission statement. Ask of the theme, their motto. If it's an academic institution like this one, ask of what is their motto. You don't even know the motto, or like you're working. You know, you don't even know the objectives. You don't even know the vision, right? Where they are going, you don't know. And you can be a very good employee or a very good manager if at all, whenever you are set to sit in that position, you clarify the vision of that particular business. Whereas the strategy, on the other hand, the strategy is an action plan. I'm trying to show you how the three are different. A strategy is basically an action plan on how you are going to achieve those goals. What is the action plan? What is it that you're going to do? You write down the steps, you know, that you're going to take specifically so that you can achieve those goals or that particular objective, or so that you can catch that vision that you have. What are you going to do? And this is the problem that has been happening. Many people set goals, but there is no strategy. They don't even have a strategy, right? They have no action plan. They have no plan on how they are going to achieve that. They're just saying, we want to do this. But how are you going to do it? If you don't have a strategy, of course, whose actions are coherent to the plan, then you have not been properly trained as a business manager. And this time around, I call for questions.